Today I want to talk about something a little bit different, but I know a lot of my viewers are going to say, hey, you're kind of obsessed with this topic, and I get it. It's an important topic, though, and it's one that I want to make sure that all of you have all the tools that you need to make really great decisions about this, or just know some tips that you should know from life. Now, this is something that came up on a recent live stream, and people thought it was very entertaining, and yet people were like, wait a second, this is really good information. I'm really glad we're sharing this, and we've never really talked about this on a live stream. This is a little bit of kind of general travel knowledge, and a little bit of just general, getting older adult life knowledge, and a little bit of things you should know for Nicaragua, but just in the sense that you know it for a lot of places. And before we get too deep into today's topic, I just want to point out we're filming today on the Insta360 Go 3, because I talked about it on a recent episode, and I said, you know what, I haven't filmed on this in a while, and I know it doesn't sound as good as some of our other cameras, but it's just nice to have a change of pace. I like having a chance to do something different, and I'm just shaking things up today and changing up my workflow. Okay, so a little housekeeping before we get into today's very important, sensitive, tricky topic. We're just going to give you a little, no, we're not going to. Okay, so what I want to go over before we get into that is, one, we have a WhatsApp group that is absolutely fantastic. If you have not joined that, go check our show notes and join up with that. We also have a GoFundMe for Marcela, my producer, who is currently going through stage 4 Hodgkin Lymphoma, and we are raising money not for her health care, but to help with all of her family expenses and taking care of her kids and her transit, and she needs people to clean her house and transport her places and stuff like that. So the community has really come together. We're over halfway to our goal. Our total goal is $5,000. We're really close to $3,000 in total. And so the GoFundMe, all that is in the show notes. Also, if you need to contact me, in the show notes. If you're looking for some cool social media like Nika Loro, Nika Graham, to contact me, in the show notes. The WhatsApp group, of course. And if you're interested in sending in a video of yourself so that I can make a video response to a question or comment, that would be amazing. And the information on how to do that, surprisingly, is in the show notes. And of course, if you just want to leave a comment, scroll down and do that. So today's topic. Yes, we're going to be talking about toilet paper. Now, in the past, we have talked about flushing toilet paper, but that's not what we're going to be covering today. Today, as someone who has traveled widely around the world, someone who spends a lot of time on buses, in taxis, in new places, going through airports, one of the tips that I received a long time ago, and I used to study travel before I became a busy traveler, but I also used to be a work traveler very heavily. I would spend lots of time driving across the country, the U.S., where I grew up, and end up in different cities, have to stay in hotels, just needed a lot of flexibility. And something I learned early on, and it was someone who gave me this advice, this was not something I picked up on my own, is that you should really always travel with your own toilet paper, preferably nice toilet paper, and not something awful that just all falls apart or is single ply or something terrible like that, because many places you go, now in the U.S. this is not nearly as prevalent, but many places you go, especially around the world, may not have toilet paper everywhere you go, and some places you have to buy it, so that's easy, but you may not have money with you or the right change with you, and some places they have toilet paper, but it's just awful, and you would like to have your own. So one of those things that I was told early on is often if you have a backpack or something, maybe don't bring a whole roll, this is pretty big, but maybe a half-used roll. You have one in your bathroom at home, it's about halfway down, you're like, you know what, let's put a fresh one in there, let's take this half roll, put it into a backpack that I keep with me, and it can be a lifesaver. Of course, all the time you don't use it, you'll be slightly annoyed that you're carrying around toilet paper, but that one time that you need it, you're going to be like, all of that was worth it. This was so amazing. I am so every day thankful that I have access to toilet paper. In fact, we keep toilet paper in our car. We don't often go into a situation where we need it in a backpack. So we always keep a roll just in the car. Because why not? The car doesn't really notice. It's out of the way. Sometimes we actually clean like the windshield with it. Oh, we got a little smudge here. Great. I'm so glad there's toilet paper in the car. We also keep paper towels, but toilet paper is really handy. You end up in one of those gas station bathrooms and you just don't know what you're going to find. Have a little backpack with this in it. I've done this most of my life. My kids grew up knowing to do this, so they always keep a backpack that has toilet paper in it. And anytime that we're out at a restaurant, anytime that we're driving somewhere, we go to whatever, if they need to stop and use the bathroom, they know they have toilet paper. It is so important. And you'll just be thankful. So this is one of those things that nobody talks about very much, and people need to talk about a lot more, because it's just an easy fix to life. It doesn't cost you anything to put a little extra toilet paper stashed aside in a smart place for yourself. So that's the first piece. That's something that we do. And having lived in Europe for a long time, loads of places in Europe are toilet paper challenged. So just, yes, bring it with you. And most places you can't flush. So that's a separate thing. We have videos that talk about where you can, where you can't, why that is, why some people think you can when we say you can't, and so forth. We're not going to cover that here. I got one more, and this next piece of advice is a bit more surprising, and so many people don't talk about this, and people just need to. So this is all kind of an uncomfortable topic. It's things that people don't generally want to talk about in polite conversation. But everyone needs to be able to use the bathroom and use it comfortably and safely and cleanly, right? So let's just all get over the taboos about talking about things that everyone should know, but we don't necessarily pass on to the next generation or have someone to fill us in on what is just smart for life tricks. Now, thanks to the internet, more and more people are getting information like this. For example, on this show, so this is perfect. But as I got older, one of the things that I noticed is when I was in my 20s, I didn't really hang out with guys in like their 50s. But when I got into my 30s, especially late 30s, I did start to have a lot of interaction with guys pushing into their 50s. And one of those things is everyone pretty much had this information, but no one had ever shared it like publicly. And some guys over the years would pull me aside, and tons of my friends ended up saying the exact same thing to me. And now, as I'm one of those guys, I pull people aside and I'm like, look, this is one of those life lessons you need to know. And that is, in addition to carrying toilet paper with you, which of course is good, something else to take with you and to have at home. And a lot of people were surprised because this came up on the live stream, and way too many people were like, wait, I've never heard this or thought about it. And that is, you should have wipes. Now, if you have a bidet at home, that's different, but most people don't. And if you're traveling, there's no way you're going to be coming across the gas station with a bidet, although that would be a great idea. More gas stations should do that. As in, right now there's 0, and more than 0 should do it. But wipes. Now, if you're in like the United States, where basically everything is flushable almost all the time, look for flushable wipes, or you'll make a really bad day for someone. But just find flushable wipes. They cost a little bit more. That's fine. But for everyone else, everywhere else in the world and in the United States where you're not going to be flushing it, look for just regular baby wipes. They're a little bit hardier, they're a little bit bigger, and you can't flush them, but you don't get to flush them anyway. Definitely do not flush baby wipes or any wipes. Basically anywhere in the world, it causes some major problems for municipal sewage systems. So just believe me on that. I know people who want to overlook other people's problems will fight tooth and nail to convince you can flush anything that goes down the toilet. That is not the case. Please don't do that. But this is one of those life hacks that is so unbelievably changing. And if you're in a country where you can't flush, oh my gosh, is this important. And all throughout Nicaragua, people have these. They sell them in big boxes all over the place. Now, of course, they sell them in big boxes in the US too for babies, but here everyone totally accepts that these are for adults too. They help you get extra clean, use a lot fewer paper resources, fill fewer trash bags with things you don't want to fill it with, get you extra clean and healthy, and make it more comfortable and faster. There's really no downside. Have wipes. And everyone who's like really good at traveling, like they put toilet paper into a backpack or keep some in their car, do the same thing with the wipes. Now, this is a big package, right? And for home, get big packages. Go to PriceSmart, get a big box of big packages. Yeah, for taking in the car, just get a Ziploc sandwich bag and take 10 with you, or whatever fits and is comfortable. Don't make it a big thing, don't make it stand out, but people actually use these all over the world. But here in Nicaragua, like, people have figured out, most people can't afford bidets. This is the answer. It's like bidet light that's portable that you can take with you, which is a big deal because how often do you get to run home for things? Not very often. So this is one of those life hacks. It will make every day of your life that much more comfortable and easy. And in a pinch, if for some reason you run out of these, you still have toilet paper. And if for some reason you run out of toilet paper, you still have these. So it's also a backup, and just in case of emergencies. So even if this is the only thing you have in your car and you end up in a bathroom that only has that little tiny bit of toilet paper that you have to pay 20 cents to get, great. Use this and the 20 cents of toilet paper. You're so far ahead. It's going to make your life so much better. So baby wipes, please don't flush them, but do keep them at home. Do keep them with you as you travel. You're welcome. All right. Thanks for joining me. Like and subscribe. If you'd like to help support the channel, you can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/ScottAllenMiller. Again, hit those show notes. Check out all the information in there. We have other shows that you can go watch that are really cool and fun. share this with someone who needs to know travel hacks. Let someone know that we have information about world travel, Latin American travel, living in Nicaragua. It's a fun show. We have an amazing live stream on Thursdays. Please join us there. Join our community on WhatsApp. We don't sell anything here. Someday we'll sell like swag, but we're not there yet. And it's just swag, but we don't sell any services. We're not here to make money except through, your donations and such. And it really means a lot, all of your support. Even just watching another episode does a lot to help make this show possible. So thank you so much for joining me. I will see all of you tomorrow.